What's good, y'all? I'm Jerry, about to check out 10 WWE wrestlers who hilariously trolled their opponents in the ring. This video is by WrestleMania. So we about to see some wrestlers kind of making fun of their opponents, whether it's from somebody bringing out somebody from the past, or dressing like that opponent that's in the ring, or dressing how the opponent used to look back in the day. So let's hop into this video.
WWE wrestlers take great pride in trolling their opponents. This trolling is always a great mental tactic, which in theory should give them a psychological edge in the match.
All the time.
The ways wrestlers have trolled their opponents have varied over the years. From stolen finishes to mocking signature taunts, there have been some memorable and hilarious incidents of trolling throughout WWE's decorated history that need to be seen to be believed. Which times were they? Well, join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 times a WWE wrestler outright trolled their opponent in the ring.
What are you about to see?
Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10, CM Punk trolls the Big Show. The Straight Edge Society was a vastly underrated stable that was never given the proper treatment they deserved. Whilst each member of the stable was talented, WWE just didn't seem to want to present them with any ounce of credibility.
Not at all.
This would be clear during their 2010 feud with the Big Show. The group's leader, CM Punk, would lead the charge against the 7-foot giant, and the feud escalated when the group broke Big Show's hand using the steel steps. And to try and get this storyline over, Punk would begin to wear a custom-made I broke Big Show's hand t-shirt. Punk would wear this for all television appearances during their rivalry, as he would even wear the t-shirt for SummerSlam 2010 showdown between the Big Show and the Straight Edge Society. This was one of the only highlights of a disappointing rivalry, which ended up completely...
I rarely remember the Straight Edge Society. I remember them because I used to watch SmackDown around the time, but I rarely remember the whole thing. I was like in high school at the time, like 9th grade, 8th, 9th grade.
Cody Rhodes. Rollins would be Rhodes' first feud following Rhodes' WrestleMania 38 return, and both
he trolled them during that match.
Matchups. The final match
came out with the polka dots
inside a Hell in a Cell, and this was an epic matchup, mainly due to Rhodes going into the match with an incredibly serious pectoral muscle tear.
That was gruesome right there.
Rollins would try to get into Rhodes' head before the bell even rang, as Rollins would wear Dusty Rhodes' iconic polka dot attire for the match. This was a brilliant touch from Rollins, and certainly made the match even more memorable. Some fans questioned if it was appropriate for Rollins to be wearing an attire to mock a deceased talent, but Rhodes without a doubt would have spoken up if it was an issue. Number 8, Theory taunts Cody Rhodes. Speaking of the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, during his last WWE run, he portrayed a notorious character known as Stardust. This character was not well received by fans, and it was actually one of the reasons why Rhodes left back in 2016. When he returned to WWE in 2022, it was only natural that wrestlers would mock and troll Rhodes for his past gimmick. This was on full display during Rhodes' match with Theory on the May 9th, 2022 edition of Raw. During the match, Theory would perform Stardust's signature. It was hilarious and received a great reaction from the crowd, which showed that fans clearly remembered Rhodes' days as the Prince of Dark Matter. Number 7, Tyler Breeze dresses as Nikki Bella. Leading up to John Cena and Nikki Bella's match with Reese at WrestleMania 33,
this had to be in 2017.
Part of the mini TV feud with Tyler Breeze and Fandango. The work of both Breeze and Fandango received a ton of praise from fans, as they were incredibly entertaining as a comedic duo. One of the most memorable moments of this TV feud was the time that Breeze decided to dress up as Nikki Bella. Breeze would dress as Nikki on a number of occasions, and Breeze absolutely nailed the humorous role. According to Breeze, it was Cena's idea for Breeze and Fandango to work with himself and Nikki during the build to WrestleMania 33. Cena reportedly believed that WWE should have been doing more with the two talents, and this led to Breezango receiving substantial TV time during this time. Number 6, Rick Rude's special attire. Rick Rude was one of the best heels in WWE during the 1980s. Rude was a master at getting into his opponent's head to gain an advantage, leading into huge matchups. But one of Rude's most notable heel tactics saw him use his attire to mock his opponents. Take for instance, during his legendary feud with Jake the Snake Roberts, during the feud, Rude would reveal a special version of his tights which had Roberts' wife airbrushed onto them. It was an ingenious way to elevate the feud and just showed how low Rude was willing to go. Roberts wasn't a fan of including his wife in this manner. He tore off the tights on television. Number 5, Lacey Evans mocks Seth Rollins. The main event of the Extreme Rules pay-per-view in 2019 saw a mixed tag match, as Lacey Evans would team up with Baron Corbin to take on Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. For what it was, the match was fun and it featured some memorable spots.
Yeah, it was okay.
This was the match which saw Lynch receive
I remember that.
days from Corbin.
In the days to Becky.
This could be a sign that intergender wrestling was on its way to WWE. Another key talking point about the match was Evans' attire. So on the back of her shorts, Evans had Seth written across her backside. This was a rather unique way of Evans to try and antagonize Lynch.
I don't think nobody noticed that.
It was a smart way to use in-ring attire to further a personal issue. Number 4, Rob Van Dam performs Triple H's Water Spit Taunt. In 2002, WWE decided to reintroduce 2 world titles. The WWE title would be on SmackDown, whilst the world title would be on Raw. The world title would be awarded to Triple H on Raw, as Brock Lesnar was WWE champion.
Brock didn't want to go back
to SmackDown.
To both brands
Triple
to fight.
H's first feud as world champion would be against
he just wanted to stay on
popular star
SmackDown,
Rob Van
strictly.
Dam. There was a huge push internally at the time for RVD to be crowned champion. He had built up a genuine connection with the fans, and they were ready to accept him as their guy. Unfortunately, Vince McMahon wasn't quite ready to make RVD world champion, and he was subsequently defeated in his world title opportunity at the Unforgiven pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Now, the match itself was passable, but it did
Because of Ric
feature
Flair.
RVD trolling Triple H in a downright hilarious manner. RVD would perform Triple H's trademark water spit taunt to get in the head of the world champion. This marked the first time that
one of the
anybody had
coolest
copied Triple
entrants
H's
ever.
taunt. It was a highlight of the match that is mostly known for the formation of Triple H and Ric Flair's partnership. Number 3, AJ Lee turns into Nikki Bella. AJ Lee was a massive overachiever in WWE and seemingly managed to deliver with every gimmick and character she was given. Lee would do everything in her power to make her storylines work, and this included going outside the box with her presentation. Take for instance during a 2014 feud with the Bella twins. AJ was set to face Brie Bella on SmackDown, and she decided to dress as Nikki Bella for the match. AJ delivered Nikki's mannerisms perfectly, and she would even use Nikki's theme song to further irritate her arch nemesis. Number 2, CM Punk dresses
I remember
Jeff
that.
Hardy. The rivalry
I
between
hated CM Punk for
and Jeff
that.
Hardy was one of the
He did
highlights
that
of
the week
WWE
after
television in 2009.
Jeff was gone from
The
WWE.
feud was extremely
After that match,
personal, and
after
the
that
feud
steel cage
successfully
match,
propelled
loser
both
leaves
men to new
WWE
heights.
steel cage
The bit
match.
after the rivalry took place in the summer of 2009, as the two would collide in a steel cage match on
Loser leaves
SmackDown.
WWE.
The match had the added stipulation that if Hardy lost, he would be forced to leave WWE. Hardy would ultimately lose the match, officially departing WWE in the process. But on the following week's SmackDown, Hardy's iconic theme song would play to the shock of fans. However, this wasn't Jeff Hardy. It was Punk dressed as the charismatic Enigma. Punk would then mock all of Hardy's signature taunts and gestures. It was a perfect way for Punk to gain even more heat and show fans that Punk was the top heel on SmackDown. Number 1, Seth Rollins brings back the Shield attire. The Universal title was on the line at the 2022 Royal Rumble in a match between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. The two would collide in a tremendous matchup. The match was already off to an iconic start as Rollins decided to bring back the Shield attire to get into the head of the Universal Champion. During an interview with Digital Spy, Rollins revealed what led him to bring back the popular attire, and he stated, "Fortunately, the event was in St. Louis, which is a short drive from my home in Iowa, where I kept all my old stuff. So I had a few friends come up for the show, and so I had to have them put it in the backpack. My mom packed it and delivered it to the guys, and they brought it down." Rollins using the attire received a great reaction from the audience, mainly because it was so unexpected. Following him using the attire, as well as the aforementioned Dusty Rhodes attire against Cody Rhodes, there's now an expectation that the former WWE champion is going to troll his opponent whenever he's given the opportunity. But there you have it, folks, 10 WWE wrestlers who troll their opponent in the ring. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more.
Alright, so this is a great video, man. Seth was on this thing probably a few times, just trolling wrestlers, dressing as Dusty Rhodes at Hell in a Cell this year, dressing this in the Shield attire at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view earlier this year. It's just crazy, man, how psychologically you can get into somebody's head just by dressing as them, talking smack to them, irritating them, just really getting on their nerves. And I love this video, man. This was a great video about WrestleMania, breaking every single thing down and putting everything together. Let me know what y'all thought of the video, and who was y'all favorite person to hilariously troll their opponent in the ring. Peace.